call halal Yahweh Shemiel Shabbat Shemakah Kodash. Double honors to the other apostles and other bishops of Great Millstone, even the elders that came before them, that taught us His truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers of pushing word in truth and sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. On the brother / LG something here. All right. Drone swarms ground all flights in Belgium. In the country of Belgium, drone swarms ground all is all caps, flights in one Belgium airport or in Belgium. Okay? That right there says something crazy. Look into what's being said. Let's get this real quick. Let's get Revelation 13:9. Okay, what does Revelation 13:9 say? Something about eyes and ears. Okay, meaning spiritual eyes and spiritual ears. All right. Let's get it. Rev 13:9. Okay. We're going to do this together real quick because I think the angels are shutting it down. See, the angels, the war in heaven has been going on for a while. But right now, and it's a chess game, right now the angels are forcing the hand of this devil. Look at this shit. It's going to take forever. Salaki, bear with me. I'm going to do something else here. Okay. Revelation 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. What does that mean? Understanding. Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand, meaning if you have understand, if the Spirit is dealing with you, really. That's what it comes down to. All right? It's a spiritual thing. If the Spirit is dealing with you, listen up. Okay? Look at that. That's even in there. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that spiritual ears. Okay? Now, this is spiritual eyes right here. All right? Drone swarms ground all flights. How many airports are in Belgium? How many in Brussels alone? What's the capital of Belgium? Brussels. How many in Brussels alone? All flights in Belgium? Sounds funny, huh? Well, what about this? Does this sound funny? Slovakia. Bear with me. Doing this on the fly. Does this sound funny right here?
But they cannot get it through.
U.S. to...
Parts of the aisle are against it. I believe he said there were even...
What do they call it?
Republican.
What do they call this here? To ground... To close airspace. What the fuck? What? Okay, so this is in the same vein. Okay, all flights in Belgium, something's going. All flights in Belgium, why? Because of drones. What? Drones are shutting down the country of Belgium. Okay, so you got to be careful what you're saying. So let's analyze this closer. All right, go back here. Now, in all of America, U.S. to, what is it? Close airspace in some regions. Why? Why? In some regions. REIGONS. Regions. What is that about? 18 hours ago, one day. U.S. airspace could, listen, look at this. U.S. airspace could close if shutdown persists. What's going on? Department of Transportation, the FAA. There's no air traffic control. They're quitting. They're walking away. There's a problem with airports. We got to shut these airports down because of the government shutdown. No. Department of Transportation might be forced to shut down some airspace next week. What? You know who's shutting down airspace? You know who's shutting down airspace? Let's see. Okay. Let's see what this guy's describing here. Drones. What drones? What drones are shutting down entire countries? Airspace. No drones. Okay. Let me ask you this question. What drone can shut down an ICBM missile, change the launch codes, turn them on, get them ready to fire? They're drones. That's what they call them now. Drones that can do that. They go and hover. These drones go hover, and before they started calling anything a drone, way back in the 60s, way back in the 50s, these so-called drones were hovering over military bases, right? Sounds similar to an airport, doesn't it? Now, which one is more important? Is an airport even important? No, it's not. Now, listen to what this guy is saying. Why are they, they must be, what are they surveilling? The Russians are flying their drones over Belgium, the airport, because they're trying to figure out how quick the response is for them to get. That doesn't make a goddamn bit of sense. What makes sense is drones over nuclear facilities. That makes sense. Are the Russians? What Russians are flying drones? Is it the military? Well, wouldn't they be interested in military sites with weapons and things of that sort? Or they just want to shut down the airport? If they wanted to shut down the airport or see how fast somebody's going to go, that doesn't make a goddamn bit of sense. Sorry. So, what is he describing here? Okay, just like the UFOs, the Chariots of Israel, used to shut down these nuclear facilities with ICBMs, used to play with them all the way going back 70, 80 years now. Now what they're doing, what the Chariots are doing now, is they're getting everybody's attention. Let me get this real quick. Revelation 12. No, it's Revelation 13. Wait. It's 12 and 12. It's a lot. This dude, no, why does he note that he hath but a short time? Okay. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them, but woe to the earth and the sea. With great fury the devil has come down to you, knowing he only has a short time. How does he know he only has a short time? Why? Right now, see, this is what I believe. When you understand the war in heaven, this war in heaven, okay, has been going on for years, right? And it's been about a cat and mouse game, right? It's been about a cat and mouse game that is escalating. It's like a crescendo. It's becoming more and more. So when you go back to like the 50s, right? Whatever was going on, maybe some little dog fighting, maybe an appearance here, whatever. And then it grows more and more as time goes on. And now we're to the point now to force this devil's hand, right? This war has been going on, going way back. They're bringing the stories out now. They're beginning to actually tell the stories about what happened way back in the day. That Roswell was a Russian plot, right? But where do these, I mean, here's the point that I'm making. This has been going on. Okay, what is a Foo Fighter? A Foo what? A Foo Fighter goes back to either World War I or II, where the angels were in the world wars. You understand? So this is not, if the angels were doing this in the world wars going back, right? That's the war in heaven. The war in heaven is the war in the sky. Okay, now, here's the point that I'm making. They've been gradually upping the ante in the war in heaven, all the way up to today. What are they doing now? They're forcing these devils to tell the truth. How? They've been lying about space rocks and Oumuamua and getting away with all manner of shit for now suddenly these space rocks, now there's spaceships with aliens coming down. So they're being forced to tell the truth. How? How does he knoweth that he hath but a short time? They're shutting down the airports. They're stopping commerce. You shut down them airports and you stop these people from working, it's a ripple effect. Okay? You shut them airports down. Oh, it's just drones. It's just drones. No. Drones don't shut down airports. UFOs shut down missile silos. They change codes. They purport to launch nuclear missiles. That's what UFOs do. So are you saying that some military drones, why would Russia or anyone send a military drone to shut down the airspace in Belgium? Why? When they're fighting a war right now with Ukraine, they're sending troops and ammunition to Venezuela. They're fighting real wars. Why would they have to go and pressure Belgium to shut down their airspace? They're not doing that. They're stretched thin as it. Who is forcing Belgium to shut down their airspace? What military is doing that? Why? Same thing is going on over here. They're explaining it away. Well, we might have to shut down some airports. Got to shut down some airspace. Airports are shutting down because there's not enough air traffic. You guys are lying. You're making up some shit because you're getting pressed by the angels. The angels are shutting down airports, forcing you to tell more of the truth. But something's up there. There are Russia's drones. Nope. Russia's drones are not shutting down airports. Drones are not shutting down missile silos with nukes in them. Historically, those are UFOs. Now that the UFOs are shutting down airports, now you got to start telling a story and spinning a yarn about how they're military drones from Russia. No, they're not. Okay? What would be the reason they had to shut down any airport? They could just bomb it if they wanted to shut it down. Oh, they're surveilling. What are they looking for at the airport? What is so significant at the airport that you got to risk flying a drone out there that doesn't make a goddamn bit? A drone might get shot at. Well, we got to risk it because it's that important to surveil a fucking airport with nothing in it. No, the angels are shutting them motherfuckers down. The whole country, angels can do that. Oh, don't fly nothing. Don't put nothing. Well, shoot them drones down if they're in your airspace, right? Okay, look at this. It's lucky I'm talking too much. Belgium here, the government decided that drones over airports and military domains will be shot. Shoot them. We will soon find it. You ain't shooting down no chariot of Israel, bitch. I bet you they don't, no drones get shot out of the sky. I bet you. See? Because you're being forced to show this truth. Brussels airport suffered cyber attack about a month. That sounds like the chariots of Israel shutting down missile silos or commanding those missiles to arm themselves and be ready, start the countdown that they're going to shoot anyway and scare both. This is not us. This is not us. Well, it's not us either. We're about to fire on you. Mutually assured destruction on both sides that the chariots of Israel are producing. That's what this sounds like right here. So you got to have spiritual eyes. Really, there was a cyber attack about a month back. Brussels airport. See, this, look at the language. Brussels, that's the capital of what? Belgium. Does this guy know what he's talking about? Listen to what he's saying.
The entirety of Belgian airspace.
Belgium. The entire Belgium. He didn't say Brussels. Listen to what he's saying. He's not describing military drones. He's describing the chariots of Israel. Listen.
The entirety of Belgian airspace has been closed.
The entirety? How big is Belgium?
The entirety of Belgian airspace has been closed due to drone sightings over all of Belgium's
drone sightings. All of Belgium. Hey, nigga, we got to shut everything down. We saw some drones. That doesn't make any sense. We saw some drones. We can't protect ourselves. We saw some Russian drones. Shut everything down. We can't scramble no jet. We can't fight back. Makes zero sense. What can you not fight back? What can you not defend yourself from? You're losing the fight. Been losing. Anyway, listen to what he's saying. He's not describing military drone.
The entirety of Belgian airspace has been closed due to drone sightings over all of Belgium's major airports. But is that actually the least troubling drone problem that Belgium is facing right now? Just who is flying these drones? It's not that hard to figure out. I'm Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran. Let's talk about it. Hit subscribe, by the way. Now, the Belgians, well, they have actually closed another one of, really both of their airports after a wave of drone sightings over the last 48 hours or so. And this, again, is a really sign of just how severe the problem is. Brussels airport is closed. There are currently no flights landing or taking off. The smaller Liège airport was closed after drones were flying over that airport. And a spokesman for the Belgian Air Traffic Control Service said that around 7 p.m. a drone had been seen near the airport, and the airport had been closed as a security precaution. Now, this is interesting because, again, you also have seen in September, Copenhagen Airport and Oslo Airport were also closed as a result of drone sightings. But
where's Copenhagen? Oslo is in Norway. Who's shutting down airports? Is it the Russians? The Russians are involved in a whole war. You understand? And they're shutting down airports everywhere. Everywhere. These niggas is, if an airport is shutting down, it's the Russians. These niggas are dominating the world right now.
We've known for quite a while that Russian-linked intelligence agents, or at least individuals acting on behalf of Russian intelligence, were operating these drones and attempting to, in some ways, reconnoiter the capabilities of infrastructure, sure. But what's interesting is that it's not really hard to figure out the operations of the Belgian airport. And
listen to this idiot try to explain this. Okay? You ain't the only military person, and you're doing really bad trying to explain this. You're making zero sense.
So this, I think, is the more interesting story. Why fly drones over civilian airports like this? Well, what I think this is actually a test of is less about the getting a close-up look at the infrastructure of these airports and more about testing the response. We've heard a lot of strong language from the European Union about drone incursions into their airspace, particularly, most obviously.
If anything comes into anyone's airspace, they know about it. They know who it is, and they're doing something about it. If Russia was flying anything into Belgian airspace, the government of Belgium would immediately react and do something about it and defend themselves, not sit there and, oh, well, we got to figure out what's going on. That's such bullshit. I'm sorry. It doesn't pass the nothing fucking test. Okay, and this dude knows it. What are you doing? Okay, somebody is what do they scramble jets? They would scramble something to shoot that drone down. They're not doing that yet. We should be hearing about drones got shot down in Belgium because they went into airspace. Not, we couldn't do nothing about it. Okay, so when did that start? And everywhere in Oslo, they couldn't shoot it down. In Copenhagen, they couldn't shoot it down. They just flying. These drones are so good that motherfucker can't deal with them. What's going on here? Sounds like the Chariots to me.
In the case of Russian attack drones, Russian combat drones flying into Polish airspace, as well as Russian aircraft flying into Baltic countries' airspace.
If Russian anything flew into anybody else's airspace, NATO, everybody else, it would be on and crack. Oh, you went over Article 5 and where's that? You sound stupid right now.
But this is another test of what are the defenses of the European Union? What is the European Union willing to do to stop these drone overflights? We know
if anything flew over U.S. airspace, they would shoot it down. So all of this, oh, a balloon flew by and we didn't do nothing. Oh, drones, and we can't stop these New Jersey drones. What? Excuse me? I was in the military. It doesn't work like that. It don't work like that. Nothing comes into our airspace without it getting shot down, if at all possible. These things cannot be shot down. Okay? But you're calling it a drone.
that Russia is actually going so far as to deploy
It just doesn't make sense, sir.
drone defenses for their critical infrastructure in particularly oil and gas. But the big question that a lot of
If you live in a
This is just terrible. Him trying to explain his way through this. They don't know the truth. They don't have eyes. They don't have the spiritual eyes. I mean, they couldn't fathom what's actually going on.
a big question that a lot of Russia
But him talking, he's telling on himself.
that is what can the European do, and what are they willing to do to thwart to stop this? Is there an immune system?
It's ridiculous, man. These people have militaries. Okay. What you're saying is their militaries can't stop whatever's going on. And that doesn't make sense if it's Russia. Of course they can stop Russia from flying into their airspace, drones or otherwise. Of course they can stop that. So it can't be what you're trying to say that it is. How can they not stop? Well, Russia has these superior military drones. No, they don't. Iran does. Okay. Did they get, are these drones Iranian drones? That would be a whole other issue, and they'd be over there starting a fucking war over there, led by Donald J. Trump if it was Iranian drones. So that's a damn lie. Best drones are coming out of Iran right now and China. Chinese drones. If it was China, it'd be on and cracking. They'd be the first. Oh, these are Chinese drones. They'd go straight over there. Shoot a drone down. How come you haven't shot one down yet? Oh, we're just about to pass legislation so we can shoot down. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Somebody breaks your airspace, you shoot them down and ask questions later. Can't shoot them down. Russia's dominating the battlefield. Nobody can shoot them down. That doesn't make sense either. If that were true, the United States would be over there. Who do we shoot? Who do we take down? We got to take down Russia because they're flying drones everywhere. Even in where our story is different. We don't have any air traffic control, so we got to shut down this airspace. The chariots of Israel are up in the air. They're forcing this devil's hand, and they have to make up a story. This is what we're seeing right now. You see how this guy is just making zero sense. He's making no sense at all.
Are the Europeans able to, right? Because at some point you go, Russia's trying to figure out where's the line between the Europeans saying, I'm not going to react, and I can't react. Again, at some point, right, you say, I just don't want to fight this guy. But at some point, if they continue to be aggressive, you're going to have to realize, you're like, oh, this person literally can't fight me, right?
Do you hear this? Okay, so we know what's going on. We understand what's going on. Okay. This is what it sounds like. Okay, all these airports are being shut down. Why? It's not because of no fucking Russian drones or any other drones. Okay. These are the chariots of Israel pushing this thing into the next level, forcing this devil's hand. Why is he suddenly talking about space rocks are suddenly spaceships with aliens on them? Because they're being forced, right? They knew that whatever was going to happen at perihelion, right? Whether that's actually happening or not, right? They got to make something up to control the narrative is what's going on. I just wanted to show that airports are being shut down. And suddenly, we're about to shut ours down. What are you talking about? Shutting down our airspace for what?
The United States might have to close parts of its airspace if the shutdown continues. That's what you had Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy threatening today.
You will see mass flight delays. You'll see mass cancellations.
Because the angels are shutting down fucking airports. That's what it's because of the government shutdown. No, it's not. Okay, is the government shutdown over there in Belgium? Is there a government shutdown? But the airspace over all Belgium, this sounds familiar. You understand? There are major airports all over Belgium. This is saying the exact same thing under the guise of the devil.
And you may see us close certain parts of the airspace because we just cannot manage it.
Or them trying to pin the blame on you.
Can't manage it because the chariots of Israel are making you shut that thing down. We ain't putting nothing up in the sky, not with those UFOs up there. This is what they're not saying. A couple of drones ain't shot down, no commercial. And isn't it funny? When you're at war, right? Commercial jets are still flying. They're off limits. You can't go shoot them motherfuckers down. You're gonna fuck up somebody's money. That's kind of funny, isn't it? How wars could be going on, but don't fuck with the money. Hell, money is what keeping that war going. All right, so you got to think on a higher level. U.S. airspace could shut down if.
I want you all to listen close.
The United States might have to close parts of its airspace if the shutdown continues. That's what you had Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy threatening today.
You will see mass flight delays. You'll see mass cancellations. And you may see us close certain parts of the airspace because we just cannot manage it.
Or with them trying to pin the blame on Democrats, but also pointing to air traffic controllers because they're essential employees who are supposed to work during the shutdown, even though they're not getting paid. And while they got a partial paycheck earlier last week they fully missed one, and they're looking at missing a second in just a few days. Right? And while the air traffic controllers are supposed to continue to work, they just so happen to get sick during these times because they have two options: go to a job that's not going to pay them, or call out and find side work so you can get cash in your hands and pay bills. And understand, closing even a small part of U.S. airspace, that could cause serious complications nationwide. And while we've already seen some issues, travel season is just around the corner, so this could get infinitely worse. But for now, well,
They ain't closing shit. First of all, here's what they're doing. Here's what they have been doing. Okay? They've been automating everything. Number one. Do they need all these airstrikes? They probably don't need shit at this point. They could probably flip on a switch and everything will continue because they're not missing no revenue. They're not gonna shut down, the economy. They're being shut down. The Most High is bringing this thing to a grinding halt, if you understand. Right? The grinding shall cease, paraphrasing. All right? That's what we're watching right now. This is stupid. One day ago.
The Transportation Department is warning it may close some U.S. airspace if the government shutdown extends into next week. NPR's Joel Rose reports such a drastic move could lead to extensive delays for travelers.
See, what they're saying is, hey, we can shut down whatever we want, whenever we want, under the guise of this. We don't have to say it's drones. We don't have to say we're scared to fly or UFOs are taking down planes. What happened with the UPS plane? How did that go down? UFO take it down? Is that why you shutting down airport? UPS plane crash. What actually took it down? Was there a drone involved? If we find out that a drone was involved,
If you're building a company,
that's them pushing a whole different. What they're calling a drone is a chariot, and that's the chariot's taking this thing to a different level.
Update on that live, and then we'll be right back. Watch.
We need to investigate.
And highway events. We also issue safety recommendations aimed at preventing future losses. Now, before I go any further, on behalf of the entire NTSB, I want to just express our sincere condolences to those who were not only affected by losing family members in this accident, but those that were also injured and those that are still missing. It is a tough day for Louisville, for Kentucky. It's a tough day as being a Kentuckian myself. And I know what a great community this is, how impactful those people that suffered and have died are, and we've seen it all day. We know it is tearing at the community, and we're deeply sorry. And we are here to try to find out not only what happened, but why it happened, and more importantly, how do we prevent it from happening again? So here's some factual information we have at this time. And I'm going to read a few notes to make sure we have it exact. The airplane involved was a McDonnell Douglas II, which was then altered to be an MD-11F. The F stands for freighter. It is now handled by the Boeing Corporation. So whenever you hear that Boeing is a party, it is because of the merger with McDonnell Douglas many years ago. The plane was manufactured in 1991 with a tail number of November 2.
And listen to the names being bandied about here. Who is McDonnell Douglas? Oh, well, they make airplanes. Well, what else do they make? They make weapons for the United States military. What the fuck is this big ass fireball What caused it? Who shot this plane down? Why? And remember, we're in the fucking middle of a war. Thinking about that? Somebody knew something was on, shot this damn thing down. Was it a drone? Was it a chariot that took this down? Hey, this means something. What does this mean? Okay? You're in the middle of a war, World War III. What does this mean? You're not being told. Oh, UPS got, what was on there? You see a big ass fireball? What's going on here? They ain't gonna tell you. UFO shot that motherfucker down because there was a real nuke being sent to whatever this is. Okay? They ain't gonna tell you. All right? Something happened right there. What's going on with the aviation? What's going on with the airports? What's going on with the airplanes? They're telling you, oh, it's a government shut. No, that's the cover story. What about all the other airports all around the world that are getting shut down? What's their cover story? Their cover story is something flying in the air.
#59 UP. The plane was traveling from Louisville, Kentucky to Honolulu, Hawaii. There were 3 souls on board the plane. A large plume of fire in the area of the left wing occurred during the takeoff roll. The plane lifted off and gained enough altitude to clear the fence at the end of runway 17R. Shortly after clearing that fence, it made impact with structures and the terrain off of the airport property. A post-impact fire ensued, which covers approximately almost a half of a mile. And we have viewed airport CCTV security coverage, which shows the left engine detaching from the wing during the takeoff roll. This and other videos, along with evidence we are finding, are a very valuable asset to our investigators in helping us hone further which areas we were going to be focusing on as we move into further days of the investigation. Now, let me tell you a little bit about our process at the NTSB. What we will do is analyze the facts, determine the probable cause of this accident, and then issue a report on those recommendations. Now, the investigator in charge of this is with me here. It's Chi-Hoon Shin, who has been with the NTSB for 13 years. He is one of our more senior investigators.
All right, this is looking like some structural damage. Something about a plane or an engine falling off. See, there's this whole engine falling off thing, right? Did you see that? Or was I? They're saying that something happened right before takeoff with the engine.
TSB. What we will do is analyze the facts, determine the cause of this accident, and then issue a report on those recommendations. Now, the investigator in charge of this is with me here. It's Chi-Hoon Shin, who has been with the NTSB for 13 years. He is one of our more senior investigators, and in fact was leading one of the groups during the DCA crash. He has a number of other individuals with them.
He's a fucking spook that comes in and cleans shit up and gets you to believe what they want you to believe. Video shows engine missing before UPS plane crash. What is this engine thing? Engine from 3i Atlas falls on Area 51. Right? Let's see what this brings up. Unknown object crash near Area 51. Cover up claims. This is 6 days ago. Mystery deepens. Interstellar, no tail. Let's see. 2 weeks. Where's that thing that fell out of the sky the other day? You gonna show it or are you gonna hide it? A year. Looks like they're hiding it. 3i Atlas just released something into space. Yeah, those fighter chariots. How big is this? 14. That needs to be looked at. Let me see that. Where is that? Slovakia.
Any business that's selling expertise is being asked to.
Bear with me. I'm on a tangent.
Telling you for several weeks now about a mysterious object of unknown origin that fell from the sky and crashed just near Area 51. And tonight, the public is still in the dark.
So that crash was quickly covered up, both literally and figuratively. 8 News Now Chief Investigator George Knapp thinks the official story, as told by the military, is false.
And we are lucky because George joins us here in the studio with more on what he's now up. George.
Oh, who's lying? Military's
How
lying.
quickly might the government respond to a crash of an unknown object? What happened back on September 23rd on public land outside the boundary of Area 51 is a textbook example of how crash retrievals work. And to no one's surprise, pretty much everything told to the public since then is pure fiction.
You can see this in F-18.
Scanners and computers inside this room listen to and record radio traffic inside Area 51 round the clock. On the morning of September 23rd, York Arnew heard some astonishing news.
Had my cup of coffee, and I'm listening to Area 51 security, and all of a sudden, they get very serious. Locked down the base.
Arnew learned there had been a large but totally secret air operation in the middle of the night, and that something had gone wrong.
So we just had an asset go down. We had an asset go down. This is not Creech security, this is Area 51 security. And they had an asset go down. And then
one of theirs probably got shot down in this. You understand? Area 51 said one of ours went down. Did it go down? Did it fail? See, when you get crash retrieval and reverse engineered and all this bullshit that they talk about, that's some man-made shit. Real chariots don't crash and they don't fall out of the sky. And most I might set one down and give it to you intact. I've heard stories about that, but they don't crash. So Esau's man-made things, they crash. So could one of them have been shot down by a real chariot? Very well could have been. Listen to a little more of this.
The next thing.
Yeah, clear. Also shows me unmanned aircraft with ordnance.
He picked up details about strict security measures which were implemented almost immediately. Not only was Area 51 itself locked down, but within a very short time, so too was a large swath of the Tikaboo Valley. It became clear that some kind of craft had crashed miles outside of Area 51's boundaries on public.
Why would they lock down Area 51? From who? That's where the spooks are. That's where the kooks are. Ain't that where the aliens are at Area 50? Why would they lock it down? Because the real aliens, right? Not the bullshit, not the foam rubber, right? Not the robots. You understand? Whatever they got up there. We talk about the angels, bitch. They know what you over there acting like you doing.
Land adjacent to Highway 375, also known as the ET Highway. Arnu jumped in his truck and headed south from his home in Rachel. But while driving on what's known as Mailbox Road, he ran into an armed patrol.
They had the gun in front of them, not pointed at me, but very visibly in front of them. And it was clear they meant business.
He backtracked and headed south on the ET Highway to Groom Lake Road, the main entrance to the base. It too was blocked off by sheriff's deputies and military.
They got spooked. Now, who spooked them? In America, in the middle of America. Is it a different country running up on them? No, they're not worried about that. Nobody's running up on the United States from a different country. Who's running up on them? Why are they so fucking scared? Because something that they can't control, that they can't outgun, something that's real, not what they're over here trying to recreate, that recreation, okay? So, engine falls out of sky. The other day, not the plane crash. See how that comes up? Look at this. I say engine falls out of sky. Here's this thing. That comes up immediately. Why? That's very convenient. But what about that other thing that fell out of the sky? Not the UPS, not that. This happened about 3 or 4 days ago. Where's that at? I'm not going to find it. Because that's what you're hiding. Something fell out of the sky. It was burning. I'm calling it an engine. I can't call it an engine. See, they went straight to UPS. Space junk. See what this brings up. This. Rocket debris. What's going on?
Imagine you're working in the Australian outback, and suddenly a ball of fire crashes near your site. That actually happened. Miners found a burning piece of rocket debris in Western Australia. Experts say it likely came from a Chinese rocket called Jello. With thousands of satellites orbiting Earth, more and more space junk is falling back uncontrolled. And
space junk. That's what it is. We believe the devil. We believe.
Imagine you're working in the Australian outback, and suddenly a ball of fire crashes near your site. That actually happened. Miners found a burning piece of rocket debris in Western Australia.
Is that what they called it? Australia. 2 years. Where's the fucking space debris? 3i Atlas just contacted Earth. Scientists terrified by the message. I love it. Let's look at that. Let's look at this.
Oh my God.
I might subscribe to that. I might subscribe to this channel. Let me see.
Profound. It may not be a rock. It is called 3AI Atlas. Give me the best case for why you think this object may be extraterrestrial and may be alien form. Well, first, its brightness implies that if it represents reflection of sunlight from a solid object, it needs to be 20 kilometers in diameter. That's bigger than Manhattan Island. And this is a giant rock. The previous interstellar objects were hundreds of times smaller. So it just doesn't make sense that the third object from interstellar space would be 100 times bigger. than the previous two, and we wouldn't see anything in between. And if you look at the trajectory of this object indeed, it's perfectly aligned with the plane of the planets around the Sun. Fundamental question is, was this designed by intelligence? And despite the magnitude of this revelation, media coverage dwindled. Major networks avoided the story. Independent journalists reported unusual difficulties in publishing, and podcast episodes covering the subject vanished from their platforms.
It's exactly what they wanted. The way that they're feeding it, they know exactly what the outcome would be or is. They know exactly what they're doing. How about that? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this. We're going to keep our eyes to the skies. As you can see, everything is going to the sky. It's going to space. It's going to the visitors from outer space. That's becoming is becoming the main focus, and then you get all the super distractions right along with that. So let me see. Let's see if I can find Marfugel. Marfugel, he had a thumbnail that said "Look up," not instead of "Don't look up." Let's see. Just go to Marf real quick. Look up. Right here. Do look up. Something is off. You know what? I need to watch this. Threat shuts DC flights. What threat? Yeah. See? Major escalation. What is this? Jet crash in Kentucky. I need to watch this. What threat is shutting down flights in DC? It's a lot. I'm trying to shut it down, but Spirit said, look at this.
Very top are in these illicit, and the way he puts it, it says we would get rid of, it will be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have.
Hold on, let me.
I think who's now in that position as well. So they were selected. Larry Fink is the one who runs BlackRock. So they were selected as interim co-chairs of the WEF as we know it, and that organization is one that we talked quite a bit. Want to take this because if we all become a digital,
that were not popular by the media and not popular because of the government shutdown, CA impacting flight.
Bear with me.
To credit, that is a fiction. It's a piece of fictional work, but this is where it is heading, and this is where people need to understand that this is an emergency. Like, this is bad. All right, and then let's go into this threat that ended up closing the United flights around DC. So again, this is a bomb threat on a United flight, and it ended up shutting down a DC airport. Now, they ended up grounding all flights, I believe. It says all flights in and out of Washington, D.C.'s airport are currently halted due to a bomb threat on a flight. It says a security emergency was issued at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, DCA, impacting flight that landed from Houston. It looks like, wow, they have, they have AI editing these now, impacting light that landed from Houston, which was quickly, of course, surrounded by emergency.
Impacting flight that landed. Anyway, let's see. Bomb threats, that's old. Okay? That doesn't affect the airline industry. Okay? They know how to deal with bomb threats. You don't shut down entire airports and all flights because somebody made a damn bomb threat. You'd be shutting them down every day, all day, and nothing would get done. They know how to deal with things as simple as a bomb threat. No, there's another reason to shut down the entire. If there was a bomb threat on that particular flight, once it's cleared, businesses, you don't shut down the whole fucking airport. Understand? Maybe for a second until that's done, but you don't shut down entire airport. What is a reason for shutting down entire airport? It's not a bomb threat. Okay, for that moment, maybe. But what they're doing is they're showing, oh shit, I gotta shut this motherfucker down. Somebody threatened me. Somebody made a threat. We gotta stop everything. Where did this come from, this behavior? Okay, you have to imagine there are a million bomb threats a day and it hasn't stopped it. But suddenly, nigga, somebody called one in. Right? No, it's something different. Right? Airport. Here's what we. Oh well, this one's a bomb threat. That one is a drone. This one, whatever. A plane fucking blew up out of nowhere. It's air traffic control. It's everything except for what do we see? We see airports getting shut down. Is it because of air traffic? Well, not in fucking Copenhagen and not in Brussels. It's not. It's because I bet you they all have the same thing in common. They're all airports. They're all getting shut down. But this one's a bomb threat. That one is a drone. And this one is air traffic. Pretty sure they're all airport. What would stop a motherfucker's money? They don't shut airports down. Hey, did they shut the airport down when LA was on? Hell no, motherfucker. Keep the flights rolling. We got money to make. All right, they ain't shutting down shit. They tell you they did. Them flights are rolling. Okay, they don't shut down no damn flights unless there's something very serious is going on. What was serious we saw the other day? That plane burning on the tarmac. Maybe they need that right now. Let's scare the shit out of some niggas right now about these airplanes. We got to control this narrative at all costs. We can't let them know that the angels have taken over and they're forcing our hand. Now we're making mistakes because we got to lie our way out of this. Can't let them know that the angels are in charge. The angels are shutting down the airspace. You understand? And these, we're going to shut down. No, you're getting shut down. All right, that's what we're watching, and it's gonna ramp up. We're gonna see very soon. We're gonna see no flights there. No flights. Why? People shouldn't fly anymore. All right, nigga. Anyway, 2 on the way out. This is 2 Core 2. That one's been coming out. You get in the gang. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. 1 Peter 4 and 7. 1 Peter 4 and 7, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. With that, we hope that the elect ratify. Watch for the chariots. They're forcing the hand. They're shutting down airports and making this devil move the way they want to. Shalom.